Today on Forbes, Restraining Orders and Dumbfounded Investors, Ryan Breslow's $450 million Bolt round in chaos. On Monday morning, Bolt founder Ryan Breslow thanked a group of investors for signing a deal that would reinstall him as CEO of the payments company, which announced plans in August to raise $450 million at an astronomical $14 billion valuation. In an email to shareholders, he wrote, quote, "I'm so grateful to announce the support of so many of our key stockholders for the Series F financing round." The email went on to list, quote, "a few investors who have given us permission to share their names as supporters." That list included NJF Capital, Stack Capital, Streamlined Capital, Third Base Capital, Stonebridge, Montauk Ventures, Daniel Fine, Ash Pornori, David Spencer, Oleg Shelzoff, Steve Ryan, Mike Krolivsky, and Bruno Wernick. For Breslow, whose planned raise and reinstatement as CEO requires the majority approval of preferred shareholders, lining up endorsements from 13 willing to be publicly named was a proud moment, were it not for one problem. Some of them had not actually given their support. Philip Krim, the founder of Montauk Ventures and mattress startup Casper, told Forbes, quote, "Montauk Ventures has not and does not support the financing. I'm not sure why Ryan included me. He did not have my permission, and I do not support this financing." Pornori, a music producer and executive, was similarly irked. He said, quote, "Not sure why my name was circulated in this way, and I have not yet signed anything." Of the 13 investors named in Breslow's email, only one, Oleg Shelzoff, would confirm that they had signed paperwork. He told Forbes, quote, "I think none can better run a company than its founder." The other 10 declined to say or did not respond to comment requests. Breslow's seemingly premature victory lap is the latest cock-up in a chaotic series of errors and misunderstandings that have confused shareholders struggling to make sense of the unorthodox deal he insists will, quote, "lead Bolt back to the path of massive growth." To recap, just days after announcing the $450 million round, the firm listed as the lead investor, Seychelles-registered investment bank Silver Bear Capital, denied any participation. Shortly after, a broker assumed responsibility for mistakenly naming them in the deal. Then the round's other lead investor, the London Fund, clarified that, quote, "At no point have we stated that a transaction has concluded." Bolt is now threatening legal action against Silver Bear to force its participation in the round. The plan hit yet another obstacle on Tuesday, when the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, along with head of Sophia and Untitled Ventures, applied for a restraining order in Delaware's Court of the Chancery to halt Bolt's Series F. Last month, the same group objected to a proposed settlement between Breslow, Bolt, and investor Activant Capital that would see Activant sell roughly $36 million of its shares back to the company. The trio of shareholders claim their questions about the deal have gone unanswered by Bolt, and called for the court to pause the fundraise ahead of the Tuesday deadline to sign. Cliff Gardner of Skadden Arps, attorney for the investors in the court filing, said, quote, "The company is coercing its investors by forcing them to choose between paying millions of dollars for new stock or losing most of their existing investment." They claim the Series F has not been approved by Bolt's board of directors. They argued, quote, "Breslow stands on all sides of the purported deal." Meanwhile, Bolt's leaders have doubled down on the company's outlook, which is, even if generous, bleak. Interim CEO Justin Grooms wrote shareholders last Friday, quote, "Because of the extraordinary actions taken by management and our board, we now have the opportunity to get everything back on track and all the firepower we need to see our grandest ambitions through." Breslow's pitch to Bolt investors to back his return as CEO struck a sour note with those alarmed by the company's stalled growth, wild spending, and an ultimatum to back the new round or risk having 70% of their investment wiped out. One Bolt shareholder characterized the deal to Forbes as, quote, "either bad faith or extremely delusional, or both." For full coverage, check out Ian Martin and Sarah Emerson's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.